Welcome to HH28, where we unravel the secrets of self-discovery and matchmaking. We are Hugh and Heather,
two master holistic guides dedicated to helping you navigate the worlds of numerology, astrology, and personality in pursuit of meaningful connections.
Ever get the feeling you're wired a little differently? Like you're tuned into a different frequency than everyone else?
Mm-hmm.
Well, today, we're diving deep into a personality type that embodies that very feeling, the INFJ.
Right.
They're often called the rarest of the Myers-Briggs types. So tell me, what makes these INFJs so unique, so elusive?
Well, what's so fascinating about INFJs and, what comes up time and again in these sources you've gathered is this really intriguing blend of seeming contradictions.
Okay.
They're deeply introverted,
Right.
yet their compassion and genuine care for others can make them appear surprisingly extroverted at times.
Interesting.
Imagine someone who can, effortlessly navigate a deep conversation with a close friend, but finds their energy completely drained by small talk at a crowded party. That's a classic INFJ paradox.
So it's not just about being shy or outgoing.
Right.
It's more about where they focus their energy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like they're more drawn to meaningful connections rather than surface level interactions.
Precisely.
Okay.
One of your sources, I think it was a psychological study on INFJ communication styles,
Right.
found that they really thrive in environments where they can engage in authentic self-expression
Okay.
and connect with others on a deeper level. They're not afraid of vulnerability.
Yeah.
In fact, they crave it, but only with those they trust implicitly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like they have this rich inner world
Yeah.
that they only share with a select few.
Right.
And it reminds me of something you highlighted in your notes about INFJs being incredibly insightful. It's almost like they have a sixth sense. What's the deal with that?
Well, their intuition is definitely off the charts.
Yeah.
It's like they have this uncanny ability to read between the lines, to sense what others might be feeling or thinking, even if it's not explicitly stated. Imagine being able to walk into a room and just feel the emotional undercurrents, the unspoken tensions, or the underlying motivations.
Wow.
That's the INFJ's intuition at work.
Okay, now that's impressive.
Right.
It's almost like having a superpower.
Yeah.
But if they're so good at reading people, wouldn't that make social situations a breeze for them?
Well, it's funny you should mention that
Yeah.
because
I mean, you'd think they'd be able to navigate any social scenario with ease.
that's a great question. And it gets to the heart of another INFJ paradox.
They possess this remarkable ability to understand others.
Right.
Remember, they're still introverts at their core. Social situations, especially large or superficial ones, can be incredibly draining for them.
Right.
It's not that they can handle them, not at all. It's just that they'd rather conserve their energy for, those select individuals and experiences that truly resonate with their soul.
So it's about quality over quantity when it comes to their social interactions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the articles you shared, I think it was about INFJ friendships, really emphasized this point.
Yeah.
It described INFJs as having this inner circle of close confidants.
Okay.
People they can truly be themselves with,
Right.
without pretense or reservation.
Yeah.
These are the relationships that truly matter to them,
Right.
the ones that nourish their souls. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It sounds like they form incredibly deep bonds with those they let into their inner circle.
They do. And those relationships are incredibly precious to them.
Yeah,
But building that trust takes time.
right.
INFJs are incredibly discerning about who they let in. They're not interested in superficial connections. They crave authenticity, vulnerability, and a shared sense of meaning.
Speaking of meaningful connections, what have you uncovered about the types of people they tend to gravitate towards, both romantically and platonically?
Well, romantically, there's often a strong pull towards other intuitive types, particularly those who share that feeling nature.
Okay.
ENFPs, for example, with their, infectious enthusiasm and shared idealism, often capture the INFJ's heart.
It's like they're drawn to that spark of energy and shared vision.
Exactly.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
bring a sense of adventure and lightheartedness that can help the INFJ step out of their comfort zone
Right.
and embrace new experiences.
That's interesting. So it's not always about finding someone who's exactly like them.
Right.
Sometimes it's about finding someone who complements their strengths and challenges them to grow.
Precisely. Now, another type that often comes up in discussions of INFJ compatibility is the ENFJ.
So similar to ENFPs, but with a more structured approach to life.
Exactly. ENFJs share the INFJs' passion for making a difference in the world.
Okay.
But they tend to be a bit more outwardly focused and action-oriented.
I can see how that dynamic would be attractive to an INFJ.
Yeah.
They get that shared sense of purpose, but with a different approach to achieving it.
They challenge each other, inspire each other, and together they can create amazing things.
That's fascinating. Now, what about INFPs?
Sure.
These seem like a natural fit for INFJs,
Yeah.
given their shared introverted feeling nature. What makes this pairing so special?
INFPs and INFJs just seem to get each other on a soul level.
Right.
They share this deep well of emotions,
Right.
this sensitivity to the world around them,
Yeah.
and this incredible capacity for empathy.
It's like they speak the same language, even without words.
Exactly.
Ah,
And because they both need their space to recharge, they understand and respect each other's need for solitude.
right.
There's never any pressure to be on all the time.
Yeah.
They can just be themselves, flaws and all.
That's beautiful.
Right.
It sounds like they provide a sense of safety and understanding that's hard to find. I'm curious to know if there are any specific challenges that INFJs might encounter in relationships, given their unique personality traits.
There are always, two sides to the coin,
Right.
INFJs, with their big hearts and even bigger ideals,
Right.
can sometimes find themselves stumbling over those very qualities in relationships.
So it's like their strengths can also be their Achilles heel.
Yeah.
In a way.
Tell me more about that. What are some of the hurdles they might encounter?
Well, one of the most common challenges INFJs face is their sensitivity to criticism,
Okay.
because they invest so much of themselves in everything they do,
Right.
any critique.
Even if it's well-intentioned or constructive, can feel like a personal attack on their core values.
Really?
It's like their entire being is called into question.
That's got to be tough, especially in a world that often prioritizes bluntness over sensitivity.
Right.
How can INFJs navigate that without constantly feeling like they're walking on eggshells?
It's a delicate dance, for sure.
Yeah.
One of the therapists that you cited in your research
Yeah.
described it beautifully. She
Right.
said, imagine a delicate flower that needs both sunlight and shelter to thrive. That's an INFJ in a nutshell.
Wow.
They need feedback to grow,
Okay.
but it needs to be delivered with empathy and understanding.
So it's not about shielding them from criticism entirely. It's about creating a safe space for them to receive it constructively.
Precisely. And that requires open communication from both sides.
Right.
The INFJ needs to learn to communicate their needs clearly, to let others know when their feelings have been hurt,
Right.
and to ask for what they need to feel safe and respected.
And the other person needs to be mindful of their delivery, right?
Yes.
Like focusing on the action or behavior rather than making it a personal attack.
You got it. It's about finding that balance between honesty and compassion.
Okay.
Now, another challenge for INFJs,
Yeah.
and this one might seem counterintuitive
Sure.
given their deep empathy,
Right.
is their aversion to conflict.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why is that? You'd think that someone so attuned to the emotions of others would be better equipped to handle disagreements.
It makes more sense when you consider their deep-seated need for harmony. INFJs crave peace, both internally and in their external world. Conflict disrupts that sense of equilibrium.
Yeah.
It throws their whole system off balance.
What?
It's like their nervous systems are wired to experience discord as a threat,
Really?
even if it's just a difference of opinion.
So while some people see conflict as an opportunity for growth or clearing the air,
Yeah.
INFJs see it as a disruption to their sense of peace.
Exactly.
Okay.
And because they feel things so intensely, they'll often go to great lengths to avoid conflict altogether,
Wow.
even if it means silencing their own needs or
Yes.
suppressing their true feelings.
And that can't be healthy in the long run. Bottling things up only leads to resentment and frustration.
Precisely. That's why it's so important for INFJs to develop healthy coping mechanisms for dealing with conflict.
Okay.
One of the books you shared
Right.
highlighted the importance of assertive communication.
Okay.
It's about learning to express their needs and boundaries clearly and respectfully without resorting to aggression or passive aggressiveness.
So it's about finding that balance between honoring their need for harmony and not sacrificing their own authenticity in the process.
Exactly.
Okay.
And sometimes that might mean stepping away from a situation or relationship that is causing them more harm than good, even if it's painful in the short term.
It's about prioritizing their own well-being and emotional health, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, there's another aspect of the INFJ personality that can be both a strength and a challenge. And that's their tendency toward perfectionism.
We touched on this earlier with their sensitivity to criticism, but how does perfectionism manifest in other areas of their lives?
Well, INFJs have this incredible ability to envision possibilities, to see the potential for greatness in themselves and others.
Okay.
But that vision can sometimes become clouded by unrealistic expectations.
How so?
They set the bar so high for themselves that it can be almost impossible to reach, let alone surpass.
So they're constantly striving for this ideal version of themselves, which can lead to a lot of self-criticism and self-doubt when they inevitably fall short.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Their inner critic can be quite relentless. They're constantly analyzing their every move, replaying past mistakes, and worrying about future outcomes.
That sounds exhausting.
It can be.
Is there any way to escape that cycle of overthinking?
One technique that's often recommended for INFJs is mindfulness.
Okay.
It's about learning to be present in the moment, to quiet the constant chatter of the mind, and to cultivate a sense of self-compassion.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that they are enough, just as they are, flaws and all.
That's such an important message.
It is.
It's about learning to be kind to themselves.
Yes.
To embrace their imperfections. Now, another thing that struck me in our research is this idea that INFJs are often drawn to creative pursuits. What is it about those outlets that appeal to their unique way of seeing the world?
That's a great observation.
Yeah.
And it speaks to their need for self-expression.
Okay.
Remember, INFJs have this incredibly rich inner world. This depth of emotion and imagination, that's just bursting to be expressed.
Right.
Writing, music, art, or even something like gardening provide a channel for that expression. It's a way for them to connect with their authentic selves and share their unique perspective with the world.
It's like their creativity becomes a bridge between their inner world and the outer world.
Exactly. And the act of creation itself can be incredibly therapeutic for INFJs. It allows them to make sense of their experiences and to connect with something larger than themselves.
It's like they're tapping into a different frequency, a higher vibration.
I like it.
Now, we've talked a lot about the challenges INFJs face, but I imagine there are also some unique perks to being wired this way.
Sure.
What are some of the superpowers that come with being an INFJ?
Oh, INFJs definitely possess a unique set of superpowers.
Okay.
One that consistently emerges in the research is their incredible empathy. They have this uncanny ability to truly step into another person's shoes.
Right.
To feel their emotions as if they were their own.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that also be incredibly draining?
Oh, absolutely. To carry the weight of other people's emotions all the time, it can be a double-edged sword, for sure.
Right.
INFJs have to be very mindful of their own energy.
Yeah.
And set healthy boundaries to avoid becoming overwhelmed.
Right.
But when channeled effectively...
It's like they're natural-born healers, helping others feel seen and heard.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that ability to connect with others authentically is invaluable, not just in their personal lives, but also in their careers.
Yeah.
Many INFJs are drawn to professions where they can make a tangible difference in the lives of others.
So think therapists, counselors, social workers, those kinds of fields.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But their empathy and insight also make them incredible writers, artists, teachers, anyone who can use their understanding of human nature to create something meaningful and impactful.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They have this innate ability to tap into the human experience and translate that into something relatable and profound.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And let's not forget their incredible intuition. It's not just about reading people's emotions. It's also about having this almost prophetic ability to sense patterns, to predict outcomes, to connect seemingly unrelated dots.
It's like they have this sixth sense that guides them towards the right path, even when it's not immediately clear to everyone else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that intuitive guidance often leads them to innovative solutions and a deep understanding of complex issues.
It's like they have access to a different level of consciousness.
Right.
A higher realm of understanding.
I love that description.
Yeah.
And that's part of what makes INFJs so fascinating. They challenge us to think differently, to see the world through a different lens, to embrace the power of intuition and empathy in a world that often prioritizes logic and reason.
It's like they're here to remind us that there's more to life than meets the eye.
Yes.
That there's magic in the unseen, and that true fulfillment comes from connecting with our authentic selves and using our unique gifts to make a positive impact on the world.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
They remind us that even in a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, there's still room for compassion, for creativity, and for those deep, meaningful connections that make life worth living.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
We've covered so much ground, from the intricacies of the INFJ personality to their unique strengths and challenges, their ideal career paths, and even their compatibility with other personality types. It's amazing how much we can learn about ourselves and others.
I know, right?
Just by delving into these personality frameworks.
I couldn't agree more. It's like having a new set of lenses through which to view the world.
Right.
And understand the intricate tapestry of human behavior.
And for all the INFJs out there listening, I hope this deep dive has provided you with a sense of validation, a deeper understanding of your unique gifts.
Yes.
And perhaps even a few tools to navigate the world with more confidence and authenticity.
And remember, even though you might be considered rare, your sensitivity, your empathy, your creativity, these are not weaknesses, they're superpowers. Let them guide you on your journey.
That's a beautiful note to end on.
Isn't it?
So, until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep embracing the beauty of your unique personality.
See you next time.